A lab is normally used for conducting scientific experiments. Sometimes, though, it can be used as a kitchen. The Food Science and Human Nutrition pilot plant at the University of Florida transformed its lab into a kitchen on April 15th. Culinary Arts Student Union held a modernist cuisine cooking class for students.
I know that a lot of restaurants nowadays, a lot of people are trying to get into this new aspect of cooking, which is technically like labeled modernist. And the food isn't really different. It's more about like how you prep the food, how you change the way the food looks, how you make the flavor a unique way, some things like that.
In the class, the student organizers applied the procedures more frequently adopted in scientific experiments while cooking. They pressure cook the pork, make fat into powder, melted cheese, and turned salad dressing into spheres, and used dry ice to make sorbet.
Something we did in the cooking class today was we took dry ice and we made a sorbet out of it. And because the dry ice freezes so quickly, it actually reduces the amount of ice crystals. So that actually makes the sorbet a little more, I guess, smooth and less dense.
Stephen Chi is a student in the Department of Food Science and Human Nutrition at UF. He started the Culinary Arts Student Union in 2012 and believes that modernist cooking involves researching the science behind the food to figure out different ways to enhance the cuisine.
For example, we did a bacon fat powder today. That's like presenting, fat in a different way. It's like powder form, and then when you put it in your mouth, it melts. And figuring out why that happens and using tapioca maltodextrin and stuff.
Beverly Medina was in charge of the pork station and believes using the pressure cooking method makes the meat more tender.
A lot of what we did today was just presenting common things in ways that they look like something that they're not. So bacon fat is a powder. That's weird. That's not something that you normally think of. Presenting something as something that it's not. And that's the big difference between the modernist approach and a more traditional approach, is the element of surprise.
Modernist cuisine surprised many students at the event.
We're making kale chips and with bacon powder. It's really interesting. I never heard about it, but it's tasting good so far.
Yeah, it includes a lot more scientific manipulation of the food. Usually you wouldn't use these chemicals or techniques in everyday cooking, but it's kind of a modern take on it.
Many event organizers were not used to the modernist cooking method before preparing for this class. As a result, they also learned a lot through this process.
That we had to do a lot of research leading up to this class. So a lot of the techniques that we did, the whole spherification thing, I had never heard anything about that before. So it was very interesting because we learned a lot in addition to being able to teach other people stuff.
Stephen Chi says the modernist cuisine is starting to boom, and a lot of restaurants have adopted this cooking approach. Just add several scientific experiment procedures. It will not only make your food have a unique look, but also sometimes a unique flavor. Who knows what the kitchen will be like in the future? I'm Qian Wenzhang in Gainesville, Florida.